What up, everybody? Now that Tariq has lost his inheritance in the Weston Holdings Ponzi scheme, it looks like the only thing he can salvage from his inheritance is the nightclubs. He would have also been able to salvage his dad's dear QCP building, but he sold that to RSJ when he moved his trust over to Weston Holdings. Just to clear this up before I proceed in this video, Tariq moved his trust to Weston Holdings with the expectation that he would grow his money by earning more interest at Weston Holdings. He was still not able to access the funds himself for spending. It would be simply like transferring money from one bank account to another. He was able to sell the QCP building to RSJ because of the clause in his inheritance saying it could be sold for a price higher than market value. Then the proceeds would go back into his trust until he graduated. And this gets us to where we are today. I don't know much about Ponzi schemes. I've tried doing a little bit of research, but it seems like every article on the internet is basically the same and doesn't actually give details of what is lost and what can be redeemed. With that said, I'm sure since the clubs are physical properties that they can't be lost in a Ponzi scheme. However, Club Truth is to go to Simon Stern when Tariq graduates. Tasha made an agreement with Stern, allowing Tariq to bypass his senior year at Callister and go straight to Stansfield, given he passed the GED test. At the same time, last I remember, Ghost owned 3 nightclubs, so Tariq would still be the owner of 2 nightclubs when he graduates. So he could either sell the nightclubs, or once he graduates, he could start running the nightclubs himself, just like Ghost. Right now, Tariq doesn't even have a way to move his product. Effie took over selling the product throughout the Ivy Leagues, including the Course Correct replacement app Course Perfect. And Wall Street is out of the picture after the Fed's raid of all frap no cap, then the Weston Ponzi scheme. So given Tariq is able to find a new connect, the clubs would be the perfect place to move his drugs. Dre was making a killing moving product through the clubs in power. And if Tariq is able to make a trip to Chicago to get put onto Dahlia, he could be running the city. My question is, who is currently running the 3 clubs? Somebody still has to be running the clubs, and we haven't heard anything about them since Book 2 has begun. I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Cantos weaseled his way back into running those clubs. But most likely, the James St. Patrick estate already had everything set in order, who would run the clubs and everything like that. Getting me to Simon Stern, who at one point called himself James's only real friend. I'm not sure if I would call Stern a rival or a friend, but he is always willing to help out as long as he can get a benefit from it. The whole Queen's Child project was actually birthed by Simon Stern. When Ghost was locked up, he was approached by Stern offering a floater until he was back on his feet. Ghost knew better and refused. But Stern got to Tasha, and Tasha accepted the loan, putting Ghost in debt to Simon Stern. But it wasn't money that Stern wanted from Ghost. It was for James to be the face of a minority development loan. But Ghost ended up playing Stern when he had Rashad Tate audit the books and found Stern was getting way too high of a percentage and James' cut was way too low. Ghost and Stern started off as bitter rivals. Stern found a way to swindle Club Truth away from Ghost and put Josh Cantos in charge. Ghost would need to get the club to a certain amount of profit to regain ownership, but since Stern was cheating the books and hiding money, Ghost would never be able to reach the required numbers. So Ghost staged a robbery to get his hands on the books and gave the information to Stern's wife, who used this to blackmail Stern in divorce mediations. As a result, Ghost not only got back Club Truth, he got 2 other nightclubs out of the deal as well. Stern initially was a supporter of Loretta Walsh and James when running for governor, but when Tate became the candidate, he was in Tate's office bringing him a check. Tate wanted Simon to admit that he was wrong, but Stern told Tate that he still has a lot to learn, that Tate was dead in the water, he had no shot, and now he does. Basically letting Tate know that he plays whatever side is profitable to him at the time. A lesson Tate learned and began playing the game at a higher level in Book 2. Before Ghost's funeral, Stern had a sit-down conversation with Tariq, and Tariq was telling him that he had to burn Ghost when making his speech to save his mother. Stern told Tariq he was just like his father, great at seeing ahead, but not seeing from above. Seeing from above means seeing the bigger picture. When successfully playing the game, you need to be able to have a perspective from every angle. In the conversation Stern had with Tate when bringing him the check, he told Tate he would need to start playing the game at a much higher level now. With that said, I asked the question, does Simon Stern play the game of power better than anyone in the Power universe? My other candidates would be Ghost, Dre, Tate, Walter Flynn, and Rock from Raising Kanan. Leave yours in the comments. So what is Simon Stern's next move? Will he make his return in Ghost Season 4? Everything is in place for Stern to make his return to the show. Some time has passed, so his ex-husband Bash most likely will be identified as a missing person by now. Honestly, Stern might be the lead suspect in Bash's disappearance, seeing he had been stealing money from Stern. If Tariq sees that his inheritance is gone and decides to drop out of school, that the clubs aren't worth the trouble, we could see Stern return to remind Tariq that he needs to complete school because he still owes him truth. Could Stern somehow use some of his ties to help Tariq get some of his money back that was lost in the Ponzi scheme? I also expect now that the Westons may be in financial trouble, that Stern may come to the rescue as a way to try to put the Westons under his thumb. And also, now that Rashad Tate is in Congress, I'm sure that Stern will be one of his biggest donors in order to get whatever benefits he needs from having a U.S. Senator in his pocket. We could also see a rivalry form between Tate and Stern. If Tasha gets out of WITSEC, she might also ask Stern for the job she was initially supposed to get before getting charged with James's murder. And before I go, could we at some point also see Tariq fighting for Truth to take back ownership? When Ghost got older, he built Truth as some kind of form of guilt in honor of his father, Curtis St. Patrick. Knowing how much Truth meant to Ghost, could Tariq have the same kind of guilt and feel the need to redeem Club Truth to honor his father? Maybe he'll even get a mural put up of Ghost on the wall like Lorenzo did for Zeke. I mean, Lorenzo killed Zeke and Tariq killed Ghost, so do what's right and get the mural of Ghost at Club Truth. And there you have it, the return of Simon Stern. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.